Okay, so then another component, and then this is the part that I think appeals a lot to the, say, the non-traditional KDB and Q developers, is what we call our data transformer. So it's basically the idea is that you can do a lot of ETL, just using drag and drop boxes, configuring your data types. So you can load in data from various different formats. It could be CSV format, JSON format, over ODBC connections, or it can be from KDB as well. So that's both by partitioned and in-memory data, so all the different KDB on this data types are supported as well. So the idea being that it's all point and click and file operations, and then obviously Nicolle will go through this in a few seconds, but you see this general kind of a workflow, and then you can actually save these transformations down into that workspace that we saw earlier. So that's another artifact that you can save, and then obviously somebody else can reuse that then. So if you're doing something like maybe, like this is what we did with taxi data, that we took in those CSV files and we actually loaded them in and using this mechanism. So if we go to the next slide. So part of it, obviously the first part of it is obviously importing your data. And so what you can do is you can choose a file. So the table name might be called total, you select your input, and then you can actually change between the data types. So it does something like what the CSV guest.q script does under the hood, where it tries to map the data types. But then obviously if there's stuff like you have it as a string and you want to change it to a symbol, you can change the data types, you can also change the names, and you can do some sanitizing on the data, so it's all very interactive, but with no Q coding whatsoever. But it is running KDB Plus on our code, so you still get the speed and power of KDB under the hood. So next slide. It has all of the KDB data types mapped as well, so all the nanosecond timestamping, etc., and GUID, etc. And then there's also a connect component of that. Once you've done all your ETLs, you can start actually playing around with the data. So this is a more interactive fashion. You can pop up this new window and you get this visual inspector. So it means that you can actually load huge data sets in real time, and then you can modify the attributes of this data. You can brush the data, data interrogation and data tumbling, so you can see there's various different types. And then at the top here, you've got your data, which is just a table name. You can actually put in a full query. And then at this drop down here, you've got a variety of different types of visualizations you can do. You can do simple line charts, bar charts, histograms, heat maps, and you can do Google Maps and other, geospatial mapping as well. And then once again, you can also save these inspections as well. So you can just send this and publish this to an end user. So next slide. And then another cool thing that we've done is we've actually built a grammar of graphics library, which will actually plug directly into this tool. And it plugs into one of our other dashboarding tools, which we'll be discussing in a follow-up meetup as well. So the idea of the grammar of graphics is that Leland Wilkinson devised it. So you can basically just describe your visualizations and just write them out in core code. So it's well worth reading this book, it's pretty cool. So this has been imported. So you can do all various different types of visualizations by just typing Q code in the library. So it's just a list of functions and you just append to these functions. So it's not even like the difficult like adverbs or anything like that. It's actually just simple library calls that you make, and you can create all these different types of visualizations very easily. Next slide. And then there's also Q code driven visualizations. So here's just a simple example where we've actually got a plot matrix here. So you can see basically that we've taken all of these different facets. So this is actually from a diamond data set, and then you can just plot them and you get all of these images at the one time. So you can start interrogating these data sets and see, okay, this actually looks like an interesting plot. So we'll then zoom in on this, and you can just expand the data set. So it's quite interactive. And as you see here, it's just simple Q code, you're just calling functions, passing in values. That this is I want a 900 by 900 image. And what's happened is the image gets rendered on the server side as a PNG, and then it gets pushed across to the browser side. So all the heavy lifting and all the rendering is done on the server side, so you don't need a very heavy graphics card on your desktop for this. Next slide. And then we also built in layered grammar of graphics, so this kind of came after. So those of you familiar with R are familiar obviously with ggplot2, which is probably one of, if not the most popular library for plotting in the R and the world of R. And so I want to move on to the next slide. The idea here is that you can actually start stacking your plots. So it's not just like one single plot you can do, you can actually just append onto your code. So you basically just create a list, so you're just using comma. So as you see here, we've got 3 different types of maps. And then you can just actually stack them all on top of each other, all just via code. So it's quite nice. It's just a few lines of code to do something like that. And then next slide. Another thing, we've also got a unit testing framework built into the Analyst tool, which is called Cucumber. Nice little pun. So the basic name, based on the naming conventions, you just right-click and do an individual test. You get the test files associated with functions, and then you can run all of these test files associated with a given module. So it's basically runs across the board. Next slide. And you see it's called plus.cuc. And then we've also got quick check, which is property-based testing. So you've got all these different types of testing frameworks built directly into this tool. And so at this point, I'll hand it over to Nicolle. I'll actually hold it for Nicolle.
Great, thanks, Fintan. So as Fintan mentioned before, you can do all of your ETL in this platform. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is the table importer. So as you can see, you can import a CSV file, a KB table, and JSON. So I'm going to import a CSV file really quickly. So I have just a quick example of a CSV file for the purposes of the demo. So as you saw, this is very similar to the screenshot. So you can rename the table, you can either overwrite or append to an existing table if you have additional data you need to add. And you can also select the number of records to import. So if you only want to import 100, 1,000, or 10,000 records, you can do that here. And as Fintan mentioned before, you can sanitize the column. So if you have spaces or weird symbols in the CSV file that you're importing, if you hit sanitize, it'll do all that cleansing for you. And it does do kind of similar to the CSV guest, but you can change those types here as well. You can also deselect or select any columns that you want. So if you only want to import, say, 4 columns, you can hit this and then select the 4 that you want. So it's really easy and nice to use. And then after that, you can either go directly to our table transformer, which I'll show in a second, or you could actually export and save that down to disk if you would like. So it's a pretty handy tool. So the next thing I'm going to show you is our table transformer. So I've loaded a table that we have in disk and memory. It's called total. It's almost 85 million records of our taxi data. It's the raw taxi data. And what I'm going to do is a series of transformations on it. So as you saw in the screenshot, on the left-hand side we have a tree of all of the transformations. And it's really nice because you can kind of switch them up, edit them, delete them, whatever you need to do. This is only showing 50 records of the table, but every time you do a transformation, it is actually doing it on the entire table. And of course, you have the power of KDB for it to be really fast for you. And then what we have is once we're done all of our transformations, we save it in memory to a table called taxi. So I've already, for the purposes of the demo, run this, but just to add, you can save all of these transformations basically as a transformer function in your namespace. And so you can call that function on any table that you have. So you don't have to sort of redo this ETL transformation. You can always just run it as a function again and again. As you can see, if I do a count there, it's almost 83 million records. So it did some cleansing, got rid of some records from the original taxi set. So. The next thing I'm going to show you guys is the ggplot library, which I think is really, really cool. So you can save any of the plots that you want to look at as functions, basically. So I'm going to run this one really quickly. It takes a second because it is running on the whole data set. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either have it output as sort of a separate console tab below. So you can see we're actually looking at for each month the total tip and count. So it's the number of taxi rides, and then the darker blue color it is, it's kind of like the higher the sum of the tip amount that we received. But I can also open it up here as a saved image. Bigger. It takes a second to load in, but there it is there. I'm just selecting from the table. And here's kind of where you can do some customization, so selecting the exact column you want, selecting how you want to do things, etc. And here are all of the different charting types that we have. So you can have just the raw table here, you can have a scatter plot, a line chart, Google Maps, anything like that. And then any sort of QSQL query that you can imagine writing, you can visualize. So I could do something like select from taxi where ptime.year equals 2015, for instance. And then that will render in a couple seconds. And now, similar to the screenshot that you guys saw in the PowerPoint, we're now looking for January of 2015. So whatever you can imagine writing in Q, you can visualize the ggplot, which is really nice. Another really cool visual that we have basically, I'm summing the tip by hour and day for January 2015. So at first glance, they kind of look like a really cool pattern, but it's actually super informative. For instance, this big block of dots here is New Year's. So, New Year's Eve, everyone goes out, celebrates midnight, 1 or 2 a.m. We have a huge influx of tips, so there's bigger dots. And then you can see sort of during the evenings after work, people are taking taxis to events here and there. We have bigger dots as well. We also have a day that really has nothing, so maybe you can infer, oh, there was a snowstorm that day, and then look to see we had too many taxis on the road, we lost money that day. So it's a really good, cool way to visualize your data. The last plot that I want to show you guys is the Google Map plots. So I've written a cool script that will render some data based on the table that I had loaded in previously. So what you're looking at here is Manhattan. And since this is simulated, it's technically updating in real time. So every time I render this map, it will change. But you're looking at all of the taxis that are currently in Manhattan right now. And the brighter the color basically means the more they spent. So it was a larger trip, more expensive trip, etc. So just a really cool way to view your data. Another thing I can run is this render lines chart. So what this is going to show you are all the taxi trips that originated from Penn Station. So let me just move this up a little bit. There we go. So you can kind of see like the little epicenter there, and then all of the trips that originate from Penn Station. So you can kind of see like how far out people go, or most people kind of stay around Manhattan and maybe go off to Jersey, but it's just another cool way to visualize your data using Google Maps. The last big thing that I want to mention is the Cucumber and Quick Check testing. So Cucumber is the way to do unit testing. So I have a function called cache, and cache is going to do addition, basically. It's my version of the sum function. But as you can tell, I have x minus y here because I want to show the failure of the function. So all you need to do to run your unit testing is right-click and hit test. Go to the console. And as you can see, 203 of my test failed. So it'll tell you the line where it failed, what it expected the result to be, and what the result was. So I say, okay, go back to my function. Oh, it's supposed to be plus here, so we'll change that and save it. Here the console. And then we run this again, and all 3 of my tests pass. So really cool way to do unit testing. But if you want to kind of test more of the edge cases, you're going to want to do a quick check. So So I'm going to create a function called doubler. It's supposed to double a number, but I'm just going to add 2 to it to show the example of the quick check. So I have defined a function x plus 2, and there's a built-in library .qch which has all of the quick check functions for you. So it's going to run 100 tests on the fly for you to be sure that you're passing all of them. And now, of course, it failed after the first test because doubling number is not adding 2, it's multiplying by 2. So it'll show you kind of the counterexample and details of what happened. So all I need to do, obviously, change that, rerun it, and then I'm going to execute my test. And now all of my tests have passed. So it's really nice that we now get unit testing and property-based testing.
That's about it, basically. So we're happy to answer questions around afterwards and give us feedback as well. A lot of it is like, is this appealing to the KDB community, or is this for people to get into the KDB community? Because I know from personal experience, it would have been handy using this 10 years ago when I started learning Q programming, just to make it a bit easier. So yeah, any feedback you have, we'd be pretty happy to chat if you're actually interested, in playing around with it. So I think that's about it. So I have a few more beers. 4 more beers. I know there's cans. There's still plenty of cans. So we'll start rationing. And yeah, so if you have any questions or feedback, just let us know. Okay? Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.